Male friendships are just superior to female friendships in every which way.
Because it's like, why are you pretending to be my best friend when you secretly hate me, can't celebrate my wins, you don't like my posts? Like, what is this?
However, not even know each other's birthdays.
The homies, I don't know their birthday until the day of.
Male friendships are stronger than female friendships.
Insane.
By
God.
show me 5 female friends that have been friends for 15 years.
Official, I have no friends anymore.
What happened? Is everything okay?
Tanya didn't wish me a happy birthday.
In 2025, men and women couldn't be more different.
What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP back at it again with another reaction video. And today we're reacting to Christina Aaliyah. Shout out to Christina Aaliyah. I love her content. She's really intelligent. She's real thought-provoking. She talks about a lot of societal problems, so we're about to get into it. But today's video is the problem with female friendships. Men don't get it. So I guess she's talking about the difference between females on female relationships and male on male friendships. So we're about to talk about it and see what the difference is. But before we figure out what the difference is, make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We're keeping it PG. There is a whole lot of prosperity going on around this mug, you feel me? With that being said, without further ado, let's get into the video.
In 2025, men and women couldn't be more different.
Male friendships are just superior to female friendships in every which way.
So if you have a good friendship group full of women, I'm talking maybe 4+, for me that's a taboo.
People say women and friendships over the silliest reasons, which can sometimes be true.
That's it. It's
Silliest. Whether it's on some birthday stuff, that's the famous one. Like somebody ain't wish somebody happy birthday. Somebody, I know women are a little bit more passive aggressive with their more petty and passive aggressive with their issues and anger and their disputes, and men tend to be a little bit more violent and aggressive or very active, let's just say that. So I can get the difference, especially on that for sure.
official, I have no friends anymore.
What happened? Is everything okay?
Tanya didn't wish me a happy birthday.
Told you. It be the birthday shit. I know this is just a skit, but it really be that. That's crazy.
Because it's like, why are you pretending to be my best friend when you secretly hate me, can't celebrate my wins, you don't like my posts? Like, what is this? I wish every girl didn't have to go through that because it's traumatizing.
Or people will say how, you know, female friendship, there's just too much drama. This can also sometimes be true. Yet, when I heard that men can be friends with each other, however, not even know each other's birthdays, I was genuinely shocked.
The homies, I don't know their birthday until the day of. Straight up.
Nah, I ain't gonna cap. Some of my homies I'm really cool with, I'll be forgetting. I know what month it is, but I'll be forgetting the exact date. Because they just don't express it like that. Some of them, most of them I know their birthday. But there's a few of them I'll be forgetting. Or it like Facebook will remind me, I'm like, damn, nigga, I almost forgot. Crazy. But they're my dogs.
And nobody cares. It's no big deal.
Or how some men will, you know, be playing FIFA, they'll know each other for years, but not know each other's favorite movie or favorite color. I was like, what is actually going on? I asked you guys on Instagram and on YouTube, what are some of the biggest differences between male and female friendships? And I kind of wanted to unpack some of them in this video. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the cozy corner of the internet. I'm your host Christina, and I help people stop shrinking and start living. One of the biggest difference that kept on showing up whenever I asked you guys was actually like shared hobbies. Male friendships tend to center around having a shared hobby, a shared activity, playing games together, playing a sport. Purely anecdotal as an outsider looking in, but I feel like guy friendships are more about existing around one another with a shared interest. They develop bonds and attachment, but not very deeply. It kind of looks all fun, but with little substance, if I'm being honest. My guy friends have told me that they practically know nothing about the other guys in their friend groups, but they hang out nonetheless.
And I would say that is a lot of truth to that, because men tend to be more goal oriented. So like we tend to, and no offense to women, not saying women aren't, right? I know we're in 2025. This is a different conversation, right? But men typically, you know, unite on a goal. So like you could build a friendship. A lot of friendships, how I said in previous videos, aren't because we're just actively trying to become friends. We just end up being in the same circumstance, going after the same goal, stuff like that. So because of that, we tend to, link up, and all the other stuff that's outside of achieving this goal tend not to be the most important. You know what I mean? And especially with me doing like my own thing, I'm a videographer and whatnot. I have a lot of social circles surrounded around that because we all trying to achieve a certain goal, or I'm trying to achieve a certain look for them. So that's definitely a truth in that for sure.
So interesting to me as a girl who has mainly girlfriends, and I know almost every detail about their lives, like every detail that they're willing to share. Like I know all about them, their job, where they live, where they want to live, what they want to do in their job. I know all about their partner, how long they've been with their partner, if they're happy with their partner, what them and their partner like talk about, what them and their partner's plans are. Like I actually can't imagine being friends with someone that I don't know a lot about their personal life. Because the way I see it, like as a girl, like they are your friend because you talk about these things. So when you take that away, I'm like, how did you become friends? Girlfriends, in my experience, are a lot closer to one another. They share personal parts of themselves and also enjoy company of one another. These are also a lot of fun, but do have more real talks. It's fun and substance. Girlfriend groups tend to keep each other more honest and tend to call each other out on things. That's why they tend to last less than male friendships.
And that's very true. That has a lot of truth to it. Women tend to be more on the emotional side when it comes to their friendships, and the more sociopathical side, if that's the right word for that, when it comes to friendships, to where like they focus on the intangible things that surrounds them when it comes to friendships. And men, like I say, surround themselves around either completing a certain goal, whether it's an actual goal or whether it's just to get more girls, or whether it's just whatever the common goal or common hobby is. Men tend to be like that, excuse me. But yeah.
A good point, because I see people talking about this all the time, like name me.
And that's why like things like forgetting their birthday, like certain like psychological issues that might occur within their friendships be the reason why they can easily disperse. Like, because they're starting to see things for what it really is. And both men and women have femininity and masculinity traits in them. So men can understand these same things, even though we typically don't make friends in the same way. You still carry the same traits. You just might not display them when it comes to making friends or in those type of circumstances. You just display them in other issues, like maybe in your relationship with your girl or something. But when it comes to making friends, we tend not to use these same characteristics for whatever reason. Just maybe it's not commonplace for us. I don't know.
A female friendship.
Y'all can let me know that in the comments.
That's lasted longer than 10 years.
Male friendships are stronger than female friendships.
He's saying
by far.
Same.
God, by far.
I've heard women say some shit about each other.
Show me 5 female friends that have been friends for 15 years.
Can't.
I don't know. I can't do
I
it.
actually don't know.
Even in like movies, it can't even happen. It's just
Bro.
break up at the 15 type.
Bro, yeah, these are talks.
You got friends for 15 years?
15, 5.
You a liar.
No, but it's just different scenario. Take 5 friends on a boys trip and a girls trip. These 5 boys, the boys are gonna come back, I think, a little bit healthier than the girls. Because if something happened, like you told me it was a girl math. What was it?
Girl math, bro. They go on vacation with 5 friends and come back with 2.
I'm gonna say this, and this might be a hot take. Male and female friendships are no different in the core. They're not. We do value different things. That's why men feel like male friendships are stronger. Female friendships nor male friendships neither are more stronger than the other. It's more so about where our values stand at. And I think women hold certain values that men don't. And I think she's probably gonna get it and I'm sure she's gonna get to this in the video, but men friendships tend to be more fake. I'm just keep that shit a bug. It tends to be more fake. There's certain conversations we need to have that we don't have within our friendships, and because let's put it like this. I ain't gonna say fake. This is the real thing. I'm gonna put this on full screen. male friendships tend to be more avoidant. That's why they last long. When you have two people that are not just two people, when you have a group of men, a group of people in general, it don't matter what gender you are, when you have a group of people in general that are very avoidant, you can become friends for a very long time because you don't address issues that need to be addressed. You just put a Band-Aid on it, you skirt it to the side, and just ignore it until that issue comes up again. You find a way to dodge it again, and then you keep ignoring it, and you keep ignoring it, and you keep ignoring it until it really hits face value, and then you really got to address it 10 to 15 years later. That's what it is. But see what women do, women tend not to be that avoidant in their friendships, so they clash at the moment that happens. You know what? I don't even want to hit that. At the moment that it happens. And when they do that, then they tend to have that falling out that we always see. And the reason why he say, name a woman friend group that lasts longer than 5 years. Because they tend to address their issues. These men, I'm not saying they are like that, but I wouldn't be surprised that these men, it wouldn't be a shocker if these men had underlying issues, like whether it's hierarchy issues, ego issues, amongst each other that they really want to address, and they don't until it hit face value and they can't run from it no more. I watched the Joe Budden podcast, and on the Joe Budden podcast, shout out to the Joe Budden podcast. I really do love that podcast. Shout out to him. But it was it was Flip. Sorry, Freeze. It was Flip and Mark got into it recently on the Joe Budden podcast, and you could tell that Flip had some real underlying issues with Mark that he really had to get off his chest. And that moment when they had an issue with something was when all that underlying issues he had piled up hit the surface. That's how we just keep avoiding it. We just keep avoiding it until it hit a surface where we can't avoid it no more, because it either is affecting our money, it's affecting our hierarchy, it's affecting our ego, and we gotta address it or it's gonna be some permanent damage. And then at that moment, all of that backline issues come up forward, and then you hit the table with it. So that's typically why he think male relationships are stronger than women's. They're not. But women in relationships aren't stronger than men's either. It's just the way we carry and go about handling things. Women got some ways that men, like birthday shit, like worrying about when your birthday is, ain't a deal breaker for us. That's not, and that's just how we operate. So we all different in our own ways for sure.
Yeah, arguments. Yeah.
One of them buys a early flight because she can't stand one of them. One of them find a man, go to the Airbnb, and one of them just disappears, bro. Just come back with two. I don't know. And then at the birthday party the next year, bro, you got 5 different girls. Not even the same friend. Like, it's just.
And don't get me wrong, like, I feel like as a girl, yes, you can cut people off over like little things, or you can maybe, I don't know, do we actually cut people off over little things? Like, I feel like as a woman, you'd naturally cut someone off, or you'd think about it if like things feel fake, things feel forced, you feel like she doesn't like you, she's disrespected you too many times, or just you're not enjoying the friendship. That is a good point. Male friendships lack emotional depth, but are less emotionally taxing. Female friends tend to be very complimentary and extremely supportive, though at times it may be slightly fake or exaggerated. Whereas observing my male friends, in a lot of their conversations, they tend to jokingly make jabs at one another and sometimes even try to one-up each other. From what this comment...
But, and this is where I would agree and disagree, because there's fakeness on both sides. Men have a different priority, to where if the fakeness is present, we can overdo it for whatever our underlying objective is. So if we have like a goal we're trying to reach, and we got somebody that's on the squad that's like on some fake it, but that helping us get to this goal, we just gonna push it. It's not bigger than what the end goal, the why is for what we're doing it. When the underlying goal is companionship, and the underlying goal and the main goal is companionship and partnership and relatability and getting along, you can't have fakeness in your friendship, because then that defeats the purpose of the goal you're trying to reach, which is companionship. And because of that, women will cut their friends off like that, because that's the goal you're trying to reach, companionship. So how can I keep somebody around me that's fake that we would never get to our goal? When men tend to have like external goals, whether like I said, is trying to get more girls, whether it's trying to achieve a actual goal or something, or trying to learn from each other, all the little petty stuff, though it might still be fake, it don't matter, because we trying to get something out of the situation. Like, men tend to be transactional. Let's say it like that. Men tend to be externally or even sometimes internally transactional between our friendships. So whatever that transaction is what's mostly important. We prioritize that. All the other little, like, if I got a homie and he low-key jealous of me, and he low-key got issues with me or something in some other capacity, but my main transaction with him is we trying to make X amount of money, or we trying to start this business or whatever, but he got these other underlying objectives or underlying issues with me. Depending on the gravity of that underlying issue, we can throw that shit to the wayside, because we trying to get to this goal. You know what I mean? So now when the underlying issue it starts affecting the main goal and where we're trying to get to, then at that point you got to cut ties. You know what I mean? And that's just how men operate. You know what I mean? At least from a man perspective. But yeah.
It kind of sounds like male friendships are kind of like low commitment, low investment, and low expectation. Whereas with my female friends, like, I don't want to say it's high commitment, but like, I don't know, to me.
But that because it's from y'all standpoint. So y'all standpoint is generally about friendship. So that's why you was like, oh, it's not a lot of commitment. Because ours is most of the time. Not all the time, and I ain't saying it need to be like this. I'm just saying what it is. It's not about that. It's about goals or whatever we trying to do.
It's like the bare minimum. That's why I'm so confused. Like, if you can't come to a certain like dinner we're doing because like you're literally busy, you're literally at work, or you literally don't feel well, like, cool, fine, totally okay. It's crazy that, to me, that's normal, but to think that that's like... to think that that's not even a requirement for men. I think, to be fair, this comment said that men can hang out with someone that they don't like and it's no problem. Yeah, to be fair, now it's actually kind of clicking. I do feel like so men's friendship sounds a bit more low commitment. Like, there's not as much loyalty. Is that the right word? I almost get the vibe that it's just like, it's not that deep. It's whatever. Like, it's just a bro. It's just a guy. It's just a friend. Like, it's not that deep. Whereas for women, I think it is that deep. I've noticed that men take things less to heart, so they tease each other more boldly, but women are very careful of how what they will say will affect their friend. The downside of men's bold jokes is that sometimes they cross the line and hurt their friends' feelings without realizing it, while the downside of women's cautions is that sometimes they overthink too much and aren't able to truly strengthen their friendship and live in the moment. Women are really cautious of feelings. That is actually a stone cold fact. I almost think because we're so cautious of our friends' feelings or of the person's feelings, it's why we might come across as fake. Like, I don't know, for example, when I've been in a fake friendship, whether I've been the person, like, it's normally because I don't really know how to say something without rocking the boat, and I'm like, let me think about how to say it. I'm overthinking how to say the right thing, and before I say the thing, I guess beforehand, I am being fake because I'm still talking to the person. I'm just like planning what I'm going to say. Whereas for guys, it's teasing, the bold joke is a natural part of the friendship. So I guess you don't really care.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm like that too. I ain't gonna even hold you. I'm saying, if I'm cool with you and we got like a cool bond, like I create a friend, because I don't create friends easily, right? I could be cool with somebody, but for me to be like, you my dog, it has to be some rapport and time put in for me to do that, right? But when I do get to that point, I'm a clown, nigga. I'm a clown. I'm a joke on you. I'm gonna talk about, like, you might say something and I'm gonna say something like, bro, that was gay, bro. Why you say something like that? Or say, you know, I'm a clown you, bro. I'm gonna talk trash. I talk hella shit. I do. And it's fun, but I swear to God, it means that if I do that, I rock with you. That's all that means. I don't do it to be an asshole for real. I do it because it's just fun. Like I can be open with you and talk shit, and I want you to do the same with me. Talk that shit, nigga. We gonna go back and forth. As long as it means the same way from you that it comes out from me, no Diddy, that was crazy.
Hey yo, what the
Then at that point, I don't care if we cracking jokes. Now, if you cracking jokes because you really being on some disrespectful, low-key hating shit, then don't crack no jokes at me, because now I ain't playing like that. But if it's really on some like, hey, I love you, but we just talking shit, then we just talking shit, and it's cool. I don't care. I talk hella shit. It's fun to me.
Saying the wrong thing. Women seem to tiptoe around their friends, often out of the fear of losing them, because women let their friends go easily once they feel like the bond is broken.
But then at that point, think about it like that. Is that being performative? If you're tiptoeing around your friends, you can't be your authentic self. You're being performative. And let me say this. This might be a reach. If it's a reach, y'all can let me know. I'm sometimes just come to my mind and I'm just thinking about it. But this is why this is just a talent. You know, it just sparks in my brain. Anyway, men tend to use our friendship as a form of therapy or being therapeutic when we are around a good set of friends. And because of that, we can talk it. We can do it. Because it's like a form of release. I'm a hard worker, right? I do a lot of things. YouTube, videography. I got a 9-to-5. I got a girl. So when I'm with my homies, that's my release. No Diddy. But that's my release though, right? So I had to let loose. I talk crap. I joke because I'm in the moment, right? And I don't have to perform. I'm really just letting loose. With women, if this is to be true, what she's saying, that's a form of being a performative friend. You can't be yourself around them because you're afraid of. And that also means the people you're doing that with, that means y'all don't have a good form of communication to where you can say something that might have crossed the line without knowing it, but then the person, instead of being petty and taking it to heart, they would just communicate how that make them feel. Though, if you gotta always do that, then y'all are being friends. Y'all not taking the time to be friends with the right people. And that's also a problem, if you get what I'm saying. If you have to be, if I'm a person that like to talk shit, then hear me out. If I'm a person that like to talk shit with my friends, that means I need to build real friendships with people that are okay with that. I need to know how to be compatible with those type of people that's cool with that. Or become friends with somebody and then they start to be okay with that because they know who I am and they don't take offense to it, right? If you have to get with somebody, become friends with somebody, and you got to tiptoe around them, you didn't do a good job at, You didn't do a good job at vetting that type of friendship. You didn't. I feel like at that point, you just made friends with somebody for whatever reason. Maybe y'all was worked at the same job. Y'all had a common way of thinking about a certain topic, and y'all became friends. But you really shouldn't be friends with that person because y'all really not compatible. Y'all just thought y'all were, and maybe y'all some girl shit. So y'all thought y'all were, but y'all really not friends. Because if you have to tiptoe your actual personality around them, what type of friendship is that? That's an acquaintance. That's not a friend. That's the part that I think I'm starting to realize, like, based on if this is to be true. That's not a friendship. You should respect your friend's boundaries. But if being around your friend and not crossing them boundaries, you should be around a friend and it should be like, you should have to try to cross a boundary. You shouldn't be able to cross a boundary accidentally. Crossing a boundary accidentally shows that you just dealing with somebody that you should not be friends with and you didn't do a good job vetting them. If I got a friend that I'm compatible with, I should have to actively cross a boundary for me to piss them off. Me being me shouldn't cross no damn boundary. That means I'm compatible with you. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Teasing builds a stronger bond, but only when done within the parameters of your friend's comfort. And both genders seem to have different ideas of how to navigate that. I would agree. I think a strong friendship is born out of being open and honest and, you know, without fear of hurting the person's feelings. Because the reason why I feel like I'm more comfortable hurting someone's feelings or like just being blunt now is because I know that feelings are going to be hurt inevitably. Like whether I say something.
Right. So if being you hurt somebody's feelings by default and they cannot like cope with that or become compatible with that, then that's not somebody you need to be friends with. So that's why I say you shouldn't have to hide too much of who you are to become friends with somebody. You're being performative at that point, and you doing yourself a disservice, and you're like kind of pretty much being like a beta to that person and allowing them to be whoever they are, but you're not able to do that. And that's not a type of friendship you want to remain in.
They say something, whether, I don't know, something happens at work, like your feelings will be hurt. It might be me today. It might be me hurting your feelings. It might be your colleague hurting your feelings, but like you're not bubble wrapped. Like you can't go through life with, you know, a shield and armor. Like you are going to have your feelings hurt at some point. And if I need to say something and drop a bomb, like I'm just going to drop the bomb. Guys don't hold grudges. Like they'll talk to each other even after the biggest fight ever. I've seen this so many times, and I know it's a stupid example, but I've seen it.
Shout out to DDG and Cinco. Shout out to them.
Many times on Love Island. Like I've seen two boys argue about something, probably over a girl, but they'll have a chat, they'll have one of those man hug things, and then they'll just swiftly move on like nothing has happened. And the thing is that is so rare for girls. Like if we argue over a guy, over anything, even if we are civil afterwards, even if we move on, there is a residual part of me that's like, but we had that one argument that one time. You just can't let it go. And you're not holding a grudge anymore, but it's in the back of your mind. Like it's, you know, an extra piece of like color on the paint that is their portrait. Like you just see them with a bit more detail now. After that.
Yeah, and I think women do a better job at this because they see what is the unseen. And this is where men take the L at. Just because you fight it out or you hash it out and you move on. Now, depending on how you do it, because some men, I'm looking at it from from the hood stance. So forgive me if I'm not looking at it from a different set of lenses. But from the hood stance, just because you fight it out, like when niggas be like, hey, bro, we got a problem, we can go outside and box it out. That's not solving the problem, bro. I'm sorry. Just because you get your physical frustration out and think you're going to move on is not solving the problem. There's still a problem there. And what's going to happen is y'all fought it out, but it's going to revamp itself in a different situation later on in y'all friendship. Y'all didn't really come to a conclusion. You just fought it out. And sometimes people like to say, man, as a man, but we just going to fight it out. I get it, but that's not solving the problem. And this is where women kind of get it because they see it from a stance where, yeah, we had an issue, and the reason why we can't make amends to it because now I see the core of where the issue came from, and that's an issue that I can't just live next to. So, for instance, I know people don't like talking about race, but let's keep it a buck. Let's say as a black man, I got like a white neighbor, right? And as a black man, or me being black, he being white, whatever, we ain't never had no race issue. We ain't never fought about nothing. And he'll bring me stuff as I just moved into the neighborhood. He just brought me cakes, whatever, you know, welcome me into the neighborhood. I did stuff for him. You know, maybe I mowed his lawn one time, or I watched his dog or something one time, whatever. We cool. We build a friendship. Then something in the media happens where it becomes a racial divide. And I find out where he stands on that. And the stance on that shows me how he feels about black people as a whole. It's hard. You can not hate the dude, or you can still, you know, wish well for the dude, but y'all communication and friendship is going to come to a halt. because now at your core, it's something about your core value that he don't rock with, and you can't find that level of compatibility with that. And no matter how much you fight it out, hash it out, that core issue is still gonna be there. You just gotta move on from that. And I know that's a different scenario, but the core of that is the same thing that women go through within their friendships. It's something that attacks their core values, that by them remaining good friends with that person, they're submitting their core values that they just not willing to submit. And I can understand why she goes to that example like, but we had that fight that one time. Because you're reminding yourself that this was one of my core values that I just can't submit. And I'm never going to fully let that go. We can still be cool. We can still be cordial. You can still be my dog or my friend in some light. But I got to love you from that standpoint, not from the standpoint it once was. Because now at the core value, we don't look at life the same. And you can't be right next to me, and we don't look at life the same way. So I get what I get what she's saying.
It's added thread to the fabric. Like, does it make sense? Like, it's added to who they are. That argument. I'm a girl who had been in a group of boys as the only girl, and been in a group of toxic girlfriends, and a group of girls of good friendships. Boys feel jealous of other boys too, but they have acceptance that the other boy is better than them, and they move on. This is interesting because I feel like female jealousy can ruin a friendship. Like, again, because we don't really talk about things, like we hold resentment because we want to keep the peace. If say Amanda is jealous of Becky because Becky's smashing it at school, she's got gorgeous hair, she's living life. Amanda's jealous of Becky and they're friends. Becky is going to pick up on that sooner or later. Like, I don't know, something about female jealousy, like you can smell it. Like, you might not notice it straight away, but over time.
I'm going to tell you now, jealousy in general, despite the gender, you can smell it either way. Like I said, men just tend to let it go. Or we tend to just move on from it. Now, if it's a jealousy that might result in violence or jealousy that might result in messing up the operation, then we can't let that go. But if it ain't gonna mess up the operation, it ain't gonna lead to no physical, we just gonna whatever, niggas just gonna be jealous. It really don't matter. So we smell it too, though. Trust me, we do too.
Comments that Amanda makes, each time Becky smashes her next exam and Amanda doesn't celebrate her like she used to, she just kind of glares at her, like doesn't say well done. Like, you're gonna pick up on the
men do the same thing.
And I feel like it can be one of those things that erodes a friendship. I feel like for you to be jealous of a friend or maybe envious of a friend and keep the friendship healthy, I feel like you have to be like quite a very emotionally intelligent person. Like,
you have to be that, and you have to have your own motion.
Recognize that
if you are a man, if you're a person that's jealous of another person, but you trying to maintain a friendship, the only way I feel like you have to have your own motion, your own thing you got going on that you are proud of, that would allow you to be able to maintain that friendship without affecting what y'all got going on. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is it's like having a rich friend and you're broke. Like, if you got a rich friend that got a lot of money but you ain't got none, and you're jealous of him, your main focus is eating off of his plate. But if you got a rich friend but you got money, maybe just not as much as his, instead of trying to eat off his plate, you just gonna figure out how to get more money on your plate that you already eating off of. You know what I'm saying? So the way to maintain that is y'all gotta have your own motion and not being dependent on one person.
I feel jealous about this girl because I want what she has, but you're not going to let it disrupt the friendship. I feel like that's really, really rare, and probably something that only happens with like older women, 20s, 30s, 40s maybe. Even then, I feel like there's a lot of people probably in their 30s that would feel jealous of a friend and struggle to have a healthy friendship. Meanwhile, girls don't have that acceptance. If you are a girl who shines, the other girls would try to reduce it and by making you feel lonely and make you put more effort into the relationship and push you to a literal doormat mode. When the girls who are good They connect with you emotionally, understand your needs, and they would want you to live in a world of girls, which is kind of fun. It's interesting that boys can be jealous of other boys and just simply move on, because I was actually reading some research about some of the dynamics behind like male dominated groups, like, you know, that like the bro culture of a sports team, or like that like finance bro like aesthetic of like men in a male dominated department. Like, I was reading about some of the male friendship dynamics that we don't often see or talk about that lie beneath the surface, and it was saying competition is a huge contributing factor, to the extent competition is what men have, whereas connection is what women have. The research is by a woman called Rachel R. Bird, and it's called Welcome to the Men's Club. I'll link it down below. The research was talking about how in a lot of male dominated spaces, talking about your emotions is literally like forbidden. Like, that is like social suicide. You do not talk about how you feel, your emotions, feelings. Like, that is not a thing. I'm thinking of making a whole entire video on this. Like, let me know if you'd want a truth about male friendships video, like a peek behind the curtain, what the research says, what like real men think. Because I feel like when you're on the internet and you're, you know, talking, you're like looking at content on male, female, social dynamics, it's often very divisive. It's often very black and white. Oh, men are the reason why this, women are the fault because of this. And it's just like, let's not put each other against each other. Let's not blame each other for the reason why the world is the way it is. When it comes to friendships, a lot of the time, you know, men are trying to impress other men. Like, naturally, they want to impress the people that they're around. And I think if you're not, you know, a guy that wants to compete, or you're not competitive, like sometimes you can feel a little bit like, I don't know, left behind, or not as manly enough. My closest friends are a group of guys I've known from high school, and we've all been friends for almost a decade now. The friendships are so comfortable to be in, and there are rarely any dramas. Conversation is mostly banter or talking about a shared interest. We will rarely talk about our personal lives unless it's a funny story, and we will never discuss how we are feeling emotionally. The more I was reading your comments, thank you so much to everyone who actually submitted a comment, the more I was thinking like this, okay, this is like the norm.
Yeah, be wary of women as in all men. One, when she's the only woman in it. Yeah, be wary. Like, it's some positive for some of that, and for some of them, it's for the wrong reason. Be wary. But anyway, with that being said, shout out to Christina Aaliyah. Shout out to her. This is a good conversation. I dropped some good nuggets. If you like some of the nuggets I dropped, hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. But if you have an issue with what I said, or you want to challenge some of the things I said, hit the comment button. Hit the comments and let me know what you think. I would love to know what y'all think about this conversation in the comments section. Both men, women, cats, dogs, aliens, AI bots. All of y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments section, so we can get that going. But like I said, hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We keep it in PG. There is a whole lot of prosperity going on around this mug, you feel me? And with that being said, till next time, remember, there is nothing impossible to they who try. So next time I'm out, deuce.